How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about my Sunday trip around central Wisconsin to a bunch of Indian burial mounds and effigy mounds. You have to excuse my voice a little bit. I had a nice relaxing weekend with some friends in Green Bay for a concert, and I seem to have lost it a little bit, so I hope it's not too annoying. I'm going to do my best, but we'll see. Sunday, when I was heading out of Green Bay, I decided I was going to take the long way home and stop at one or two effigy or burial mounds on the way through. Needless to say, instead of one or two, I stopped at a total of 5 and put on between Green Bay and home about 422 miles in 12 hours. So I did end up getting home late, but I got a lot of pictures and footage I want to share with you. So it was worth it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say what mountain complex or what mountain this is, and then I will play the video that I took, any pictures, and when that's done, I'll come back here and talk about any facts on the sites. The first site I stopped at is a Catfish Effigy Mound in Wapaka, Wisconsin. Unfortunately, this mound is on private property, right along the highway though, so I could stand on the sidewalk and get a few pictures and a quick little video just to show the size of it. This long mound is what remains of the original, what is assumed a catfish effigy mound. It used to stretch 250 feet long and 30 feet wide. It has been partially destroyed by cultivation and development in the area, and it also used to be one of many mounds along the shoreline of Taylor Lake. I am unsure if there are any more mounds from this original complex along the lake or nearby. I didn't find anything immediate online. I didn't do a whole lot of digging because I was pressed for time. There used to be 48 mounds in the area made up of 3 different complexes that were eventually lumped together into one large complex. From there, I traveled to the Whistler Mound Group in Hancock, Wisconsin. Today I'm at Whistler Mounds in Hancock, Wisconsin. Figured I'd take the long way home and check out some sites. This is Whistler Mounds, burial mounds in the enclosure. Got a map right here showing enclosure there. Looks like the different mound locations. And this site has not been archaeologically investigated at all, so they can't exactly place a date yet. And unfortunately, as the sign said on the way in, most of the mounds in Wisconsin have been destroyed. So, looks like there used to be placards explaining stuff, but they took it out. So I have no idea what potentially could be looking at right there. You can see there's mounds right in there. Small ones, these are just small mounds, nothing major of the big, larger mounds. The area of Wisconsin I'm in, I didn't have time to go too far out of my way, so I'm just hitting some of these smaller sites today. Decent sized one right here. Let's see if we can get lower, you might be able to see it. Not really. But right here, and you can see that kind of that raised ring enclosure around. This is a bunch of small mounds here, you can see. Neat little place. Nice lake over here. This hillside overlooking the lake seems like it's a common theme. The mound builders is anywhere near bodies of water.
Kind of pit right there. I stopped at a catfish effigy mound earlier in Wapaka, and unfortunately it's right on the highway on a private, looked like a private home, so I just got a few pictures. I didn't spend a whole lot of time, I didn't go up to it, but so yeah, nice area here. You can see where they would use it for burials. Nothing too major, not too big, but just enough to walk around for a few minutes. Looking like this place is in pretty rough shape. There's a bridge over there. It's closed, it says. It looks like it leads maybe to private property, so I'm not gonna go there. Looks like, I don't know, if maybe garbage depot or something, I don't know. Big hole in the door, someone broke in or a bear busted in. And just being the fact that all the signs, there's no placards or anything. They're all over the place, but there's nothing on them. Which is a shame that some of these places just get completely neglected. And there's no upkeep on a lot of them. And they just, eventually, it'll get forgotten. If it wasn't for the internet, this place probably would have been forgotten. If it wasn't for the internet or people like Dr. Gregory L. Little cat going around and compiling his encyclopedia of these places, most people probably wouldn't even know they existed at all. So more care needs to be taken, in my opinion, in some places. But that's just my opinion. What do I know, right? So yeah, we're gonna hit a couple more sites here, see if I can. I know there's a few within driving distance that's somewhat reasonable for getting home. Figure I'll be driving all day. Probably won't make it home till 8 or 9 this evening, so. But hey, hopefully it'll be worth it.
This complex consists of 2 rows of smaller conical mounds and a low earthen double enclosure. This grouping used to consist of up to 70 mounds, but only about a dozen exist today. These have not been excavated archaeologically, and archaeologists are unsure the meaning of this grouping, but they do speculate it to be a sacred area, as it sits atop a hill overlooking Fish Lake. I told myself, time to start heading north, look for anything that's along the route on the way back home. I couldn't find anything of any significance, so I traveled another hour southwest to Baraboo, Wisconsin, which is just south of Wisconsin Dells, for anyone that's familiar with the area. The mound I was interested in stopping at was called Mound.
This is Mound. Effigy mound, I guess it's in the shape of a large man. It's right there. I wish I could get a better aerial view, but I can see the body and the legs, the arms coming out, the head up there. It's pretty neat. I hadn't heard about this one until earlier today. I don't know how close I can get, but yeah, stay off of Mound. All right. "214 feet, width of the shoulders is 48 feet, so it's pretty decent sized." Down here in Baraboo, Wisconsin. Something across the road there with the placard. I'll have to check that out, but pretty neat place. So I guess from reading the placard here, the feet originally extended across where the road is now, and when they built the road, they cut off that section there, and their feet were over there, and those have, from what I read, withered away through time.
Man Mound is 214 feet long from head to toe. It is the most detailed of human-shaped mounds that have been documented by Euro Americans. Unfortunately, when Man Mound Road was being built through the area, they cut the feet off right above the shin, and the feet were on the opposite side of the road of the rest of the mound. But unfortunately, over time, those withered away due to use of the land for agriculture. Now, it's hard to really see the entirety of the mound from the ground, and I didn't want to be walking around too much as I didn't know what was allowed or what wasn't. It didn't really specify, but I did my best to try to get the whole scale of it. And here's some a Google Earth picture and a LiDAR imaging that you can clearly see the shape of this mound, and pretty neat, not gonna lie. So now I really wanted to see some more, and I opened up Google, checked on a few more local mounds on the way home, and just about 20 minutes away from Man Mound was the Kingsley Bend Mound Complex, which is just outside of Wisconsin Dells.
Well, I went about 3 or 4 hours out of my way on the way home, further than I thought, but I am now at the Kingsley Bend Indian Mounds in Wisconsin Dells. This is a big, long one. Long mound here. It goes all the way down. I think they maybe keep the vegetation down a little bit because you got a bunch of small trees sprouting up, and eventually, unless they planted them on purpose, eventually they're going to grow into trees like that. If there is any significance inside these, well, there's significance already, but they will be destroyed by the roots. And maybe in a few hundred years, there'd be nothing left. Just a couple of lumps in the dirt. The other side over there is another mound that runs alongside this one. I believe. Looks like it, I think, from the map I was looking at. This little rest stop area. And head up the hill here. Looks like there's a larger conical mound. So we'll go check that out. Came down up over this hill. Larger mound right up there. We'll go there in a minute. But I just want to come check out these smaller ones, these smaller burial mounds. And they said in the excavations they usually found only one body remains in these mounds, these smaller ones. And some clay pot shards, and typical stuff you'd find in a mound, which I assume, I don't know if this would have been the same culture that had that used copper in the way that the ancient miners in the UP did, but I know a lot of the mounds down here in Wisconsin, they found lots and lots and lots of copper tools, arrowheads, knives. So definitely a lot of these mound building cultures down here either traded with whoever mined the copper up north, or they were the ones that came up and mined themselves. One of the theories is that in the wintertime, because the upper peninsula weather is so cold and snowy, when they came back down here into southern Wisconsin, in this area, the Dells, and another area, Aztalan, that's quite a bit farther south from me today, but I'll get down there eventually. I know there's Silver Mounds is another one over towards, I think it was Black River Falls. Not much of a way around here, maybe. And I believe they still have some archaeological digs going on there. That's still quite a ways out of my way for today. So I'm gonna definitely plan a weekend trip coming down here and seeing some more stuff. This is my 4th site I've stopped at today. I've got 1, possibly 2 more on the way home, which will be about a 6-hour drive at this point. So, just over a look here, I'll get up to that larger mound in a moment. Now, I think some of these, I believe this is one right here too. I know they had some effigy mounds up in here. I'm gonna make a big video, a bunch of pictures and stuff, but I'll go into more detail once I have time to sit down and pull up any maps or any other histories online. So So this mound obviously was a little more important than the rest because it's up on this hill and those other ones are down there. And it's a lot bigger than the other ones. Once again, I kind of, well, maybe not, I was gonna say, I kind of wish they maybe kept the vegetation down, but
Wasn't aware of this at the time when I was walking around, but the Ho-Chunk Nation disallow any mowing or weed whacking of the vegetation on the mountains so they can keep it more in their natural state. And it makes, I guess they said it makes the effigies look more identifiable to visitors.
I suppose in its natural state, the way they would have done it, unless back when they built these, they kept the mounds as natural like this. I don't know if these are of any significance, these rocks through here, kind of in a line back to here. They're buried, so they may have been there quite a while. And you come up here, you got this rock, goes this way as well. A couple over here, they might be just random, but I'm not sure. And it's overlooking a nice little valley here, so been a great spot. Maybe a important leader of their tribe or something's buried up here. But yeah, I see these rocks, these big, large rocks, kind of goofy. They just kind of circle it. So yeah, pretty neat place here. Didn't see it at first when I drove in, but here's another one right here. See some more over there too. There's a bunch here actually. Wow. It's something I had never heard about growing up. At least not in any detail. The mounds, mound builders. They might have been mentioned quickly in our high school history textbooks, but nothing more than just they built mounds. That was it. There's much more of an enigma around the people because, well, it could be related to a lot of the more modern indigenous people. These ones are more likely that this is the Ho-Chunk mounds, their sacred place. So, I believe between 700 and 1000 AD. So they definitely had some mound building in more recent times, but nothing like the larger mounds down south, which hopefully someday I can get down there. So yeah, we're gonna head to one more, I think, or on the way out here. So we'll see what's in store. I did it again. I missed another large effigy mound. It goes all the way down towards the highway there, where all the tall grass is. Interesting shape. I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be. Hey. That's pretty cool.
What I was also unaware of at the time is across the highway were some more mounds, effigy mounds actually. There's a large eagle-like bird effigy and a long, straight, tapering linear mound that has been interpreted as being a snake. These sites across the highway are not easily visited according to the website, so I believe it's on private property. You'd probably, I assume, have to get some permission for that. The effigy mound culture in Wisconsin is dated between 8700 and 1000. Most of what archaeologists know about this culture came from mounds similar to these ones at Kingsley Bend. There were originally 30 conical and linear and effigy mounds in the area, including panthers or bears. And the complex overlooks the Wisconsin River, which was that valley that I talked about in the video. Up to this point, this was probably my favorite site that I visited out of the four because it was easily to distinguish between each mound. You could see a lot. And I'm still curious on those rocks. I haven't seen anything online about those rocks that I pointed out in the video, if they have any meaning or if they're aligned in a certain way for a certain position, for a certain reason. But maybe, who knows, I'll have to try to find some confirmation on that down the road if I can get any, that is. So after visiting the Kingsley Bend Mound Complex, I was bitten by the bug pretty hard at this point. I wanted to see more, and I found the Cranberry Creek Mound group, which was another hour out of my way, but at least it was heading north. This mound grouping is about 3 miles outside of Necedah, Wisconsin.
All right. So I've made it to my excuse me, final site for the day. And this is Cranberry Creek Mound Complex. Looking online, it said it's one of the best preserved complexes in the state. It's not there in the area, possibly the state. And took a little ways to get here. Another hour out of my way, but you know what, that's fine. And so the park way back there, and it's a lot of hiking through this shin-high grass. And I came through once already. Just shorts on, and I had 4 ticks on me within a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So I went back and put some pants on, but we'll see what happens. Nice river right here. They've done some clearing in here throughout time. I don't know how far down they are, but I think that might be them right up there. And the mosquitoes are absolutely horrendous, and I didn't have bug spray in the truck. So I definitely have to get a bottle just for that. So, yeah. It's about a half mile, quarter mile or so. Hopefully not too far. It's warm out, about 75 degrees. Luckily the humidity's down. That would kill me, but we'll see what we can find. And here we are. Well, I didn't see any there's no placards or anything talking about what's what, but you can clearly pick them out pretty easily. It's about 4 foot tall. Trying to stay off to the side here so I'm not walking on them. It almost looks like the river, the bank along that other side of the river there is raised. Almost looks like a berm. I don't know if that could be something that they did or if it was just naturally with that berm. Here's a bigger one. It's beautiful out here, by the way. Quiet. Can't hear the roads, nothing. Oh, this is a really big one. Okay, that's about six or 7 feet tall. Pretty long. It's got a lot of old growth cut back in the day out of it. It's another common theme is these are mostly, well, the mounds are usually found either on overlooks or on waterways. As water is, well, it's a life force, provided fish, water. That's pretty neat. I don't know if there's any more down here. I'm gonna keep walking for a little bit. See if there is. Towards the end of the grassy area here. It's a nice conical mound in here. About 5 feet tall. Maybe not conical, it's a long one again. Right next to the river. Duck. Yeah, not conical. Yeah, look at that tree just coming right out of the top of it. I don't know if you can hear it, but the bugs are humming. The woods is humming with insects, both in my ear and just around. Nice trail here. Keep going. Right there. It's a lower one, but it looks like it's pretty round. A little bit larger surface area wise. It's a longer one, flatter though. past the trees there. It's that whole area through there. I don't want to get too far off the trail, so I don't know what's what here. I get a better view of this one. It's low and flat, but it's pretty long, about 60 feet long, it looks like. One right here at the end, maybe. Oh, trail continues. I don't know. Yeah, looks like it could have been. Not sure. Another one coming up here. I can't express how bad these mosquitoes are right now. Really regret not having any in the truck for stopping earlier, but also didn't plan on coming here because I didn't know about it until I did a little bit more digging. We got a bunch of smaller ones here. Kind of neat. Looks like the half moon semicircle looking shape. Looks like this is the end of the trail as well, so I'm gonna try to stay on the edge here, not walk on them. These are all about 3.5 feet tall. That one straight ahead of me over here looks like it's about 5. They're decent size, about 10 to 12 feet around. That one's appears a lot bigger. Continue on, looks like. Side here. So we got a really small one right here, or it's just raised area of earth. Can't really tell, but it's cleared out here, so it must mean something. Looks like we got. I don't see anything else past this, so swing back through this way to get another view of this mound grouping. Back alongside this larger one here. Grouping of 4 or 5, it looks like. Big recommendation along with bug spray, possibly a mosquito net, and hiking boots. I just had my shoes on, so like I said, I didn't anticipate on hiking much today, but definitely should have brought them. And that's usually if I'm planning on hiking, I will wear those, or even walking in the woods at all, because tennis shoes aren't really good for ankle support when you're tripping over stumps and falling in holes. I'll get another one of this first ones I found out here. Just it's the biggest one. Almost the same viewpoint, but And she's pretty long. Pretty impressive what people can do with simple tools in their hands. Hundreds and thousands of years ago. This one almost looks like it, instead of just being a burial mound, it almost looks like it could be an effigy mound. It kind of comes out there, goes up around, and then comes this long extension up to that. So maybe they were connected. Could be a shape. I'll have to do some digging, but if I find any, I'll put it up on the screen with this. Yeah. Still curious, because like I said, on the other side of the river there, it almost looks like a raised berm the whole way down through. Don't know what's on the other side, but I know there is a bridge across the road. I'll pop over there quick just to check it out. So it is bermed up the whole way along. I don't know if it's something that was more modern or something maybe the ancient people of the area built alongside of the river. I don't know, because it crosses the road here to this other side, and you can, here, let me get a little closer. You can tell they cut through it just for this road. So, and who knows, I mean, this whole area is all, and who knows, this whole area is all farmland. It's pretty wide open and flat, so maybe back early settlers in the area, maybe they built it for the farmland because there's open field up that way. But that it's gonna bring me to the end of my mountain journey for this trip. So I am covered in mosquito bites. I have ticks crawling all over me, so it's gonna be a fun time. So, but definitely gonna do this again. Come down here. There's so many more down here in central Wisconsin that I like to get to, but don't have the time today, and I still have about a 6-hour drive home. So, hope you enjoyed.
And I guess I must have found the back way in, because I didn't realize how big this site actually was until after I got home and was able to do better research. I had hardly any service in the area there, and it appears I only touched the tip of the iceberg with that one. Now, I parked my truck up here, which is where that fence was in the video, and I was walking down through here. You can kind of see the different smaller mounds that go along the trail I was on, plus that big longer one at the end, and it bends around through here. And I believe I ended around in this area and didn't realize this huge group of mounds just across the river and down the road, or down the trail. I am definitely going to go back to this area and check out this, because I was looking when I got home and found out that there's an actual visiting area you can pull in. There's got signs and all that stuff, and more walking trails. And I didn't find that when I was originally there because, like I said, bad service. It's kind of going on the fly, but it is really big. Cranberry Creek Mounds are believed to be from AD 100 to 800. It is one of the most significant archaeological sites in Wisconsin. It is also one of the largest and best preserved mound complex sites in the state and in the upper Midwest. The northern cluster has been altered by plowing, but the southern cluster is still in its original state as when they found it. Among many conical and linear mounds, there are also effigy mounds such as bears and panthers, and also a bird mound that is 50 feet long and has a wingspan of 125 feet, which I don't believe I found that one. It is probably in that other grouping that I wasn't aware of at the time. But where I did stop walking, I figured it was time to get going. It was already 3 o'clock. I had a 3.5 hour drive home. It was Sunday. I was being eaten alive by mosquitoes. I was covered in ticks. But overall, it was worth it. And like I said, I will definitely be going back there again. Hopefully sooner than later. Maybe in the springtime. Might have to wait till next year, because then you can really see it without all the vegetation. And the bugs won't be as bad. But all in all, it was a great day. Found a lot of different areas that I wasn't aware of. Went to a few places I'd never been before. And I had also found more places to go visit for these sites. The state of Wisconsin is absolutely covered in these mounds and complexes and effigy mounds, burial mounds. But most of it's only clustered in the about halfway down the state, and there's very few up north. But there are some up north. You just never really hear about them because they're much smaller. And that could be due to the fact that a lot of the areas up around north of the lakes have been utilized as vacation tourism areas, recreation areas. But I know a few that are very close to me, which I will definitely be visiting those as well. Most of these mounds in Wisconsin aren't the big, large, like temple mounds or the pyramid mounds that are found farther south. There have been temple mounds and pyramid mounds and larger conical mounds found in Wisconsin, but most of those are gone, just like most of the mounds around the country. They've been mowed down or excavated and then mowed down for development, agriculture, you name it. And these mounds that do still exist, no matter how big or where they are, I hope they can be preserved more in the future because it's part of U.S. history, a part of what made this land what it is. Who lived here before? It's ancient history. It's the history of America, either in 1000 AD or 5 to 10,000 BC. The significance is just as important, I think, between the two. So my goal is to take another actual weekend trip and hit up many more and hopefully share them with you guys. So I want to thank you for watching. I guess, again, I apologize for the raspy voice. I know it's not in the UP this time. I branched out a little bit, but it's just as significant to the copper culture as I said earlier part of the video. A lot of these mounds, if not most of them, that have been excavated all had copper tools in them from the Keweenaw and Lake Superior region. It is absolutely connected, either through trade or it is believed. Another theory was that the people that built the mounds or lived in southern Wisconsin or even farther south than that traveled up in the spring and summer and fall time when the weather wasn't so bad to mine, and then they brought it back down, worked it, treated it, used it, and all their tools and whatnot. Just trying to find all the connections in the general area of where I live. So hope you enjoyed this video. I want to start doing more boots on the ground type stuff like this. I really enjoy that. It's a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll be doing more and more in the near future here. So keep an eye out for that. The Ancient Artifact Preservation Society is having their 20th anniversary conference this fall in Harris, Michigan at the Island Resort Casino. There will be a link in the description below to find the sign up and any information on the speakers and if you're interested in going. That is the first weekend in October, and I will be going. If you're interested in going, you can sign up through there. Be great to meet anyone that does go. I know there are a few people out there that are gonna go. Probably some returns from last year too, as myself. It's a lot of fun. Be all local copper history for the most part this year, so go check it out. And in November, I'll be going to Egypt with Michael Collins, the Wandering Wolf, and the Forbidden Frontier crew, Neurotics, X-Ray Girl, Quarter Black Garrett, Adam Krigler, and there are only 4 spots left. I'll put a link for the trip in the description as well if you're interested in going. Really looking forward to it. Gonna be a hell of a trip. Cannot wait. So 4 spots left. If you're interested, go check it out. Link in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.